Man, it's so weird showing up and I'm the only person here. Tell me when visual and sound is actually working. Sight and sound good. Absolutely amazing. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Symphony. Symphony Entertainment, Gaming, and Arts is my gaming company that focuses on horror systems, indie games, organic content, and player agency. It is so weird doing this by yourself. Good luck, future backers. In an attempt to bring a symphonic approach to horror role-playing, I am your host, your keeper, your solo player, your sole investigator, and this afternoon, for me, at least here in the States, we are getting ready to play Call of Cthulhu Alone Against the Tide, a solitary adventure by the lakeshore in a flooded town. What could possibly go wrong? Two quick announcements. One, we have a Patreon. So if you like this content and you would like to help us make more of it, please consider backing us on Patreon. That's going to be at patreon.com/Symphony Entertainment. In addition, we are hosting a giveaway. I will be giving away, well, this is soft cover, it's not hardcover, so I lied in my copy, my bad. We are going to be giving away this book right here, Alone Against the Tide, free to one lucky subscriber of the channel who enters !Tide, which is bang tide, into the chat. You will get entered into the drawing, and we will do that at the end of this game. Now, currently, I am only able to ship to the continental United States. Trying to send stuff elsewhere is some drama. I lost my whole screen. Am I still here? I'm still here. Okay. Yeah, so good luck. Thank you for everyone who is here in the chat. I see you, Cicada Daddy. Heads up, our friends over at the Miskatonic Playhouse are getting ready to stream here in 90 minutes, and a bunch of us want to be over there with them as well. So someone do me a favor, please put in their Twitch into the chat so we can go ahead and hype them. And then it looks like our collective goal is to get my investigator, one Eleanor Woods, killed in 90 minutes. So help me. Oh, I see you too, baby. So help me make really terrible decisions, and let's have a good time as we go Alone Against the Tide. All right, guys, let's hop in. I'm getting chiming from somewhere, like there's something active in my background. You guys are probably hearing it too, but I don't know where it's coming from. It's not Discord. It's not email. Can y'all hear that chiming? Like, can y'all hear the notifications? I wonder if y'all can hear that. I'm moving on with my day. Okay. Alone Against the Tide. Our story begins sometime in the 1920s on the pier opposite the lakeside resort in the town of Esbury, Massachusetts. My investigator, who I've already declared is Dr. Eleanor Woods, his character was included in the module, has her own reasons for visiting this discussed town, and we are going to review that in the relevant entries. So this starts off by going to number 1. Here we go, guys. Okay, you can't hear the notifications. That's great. All right, guys, come on. Let's get Eleanor killed. Let's solve the mystery in 90 minutes or less. The sun sinks low on the horizon as you board the ferry headed across the lake to Esbury. Is that how you pronounce that? It is today. As you set foot on the boat, the ferryman greets you with a wide smile and a cheery wave. He stands by the gangplank as you pass, welcoming other passengers as he removes his cap to scratch his balding head. His pudgy figure fills his well-worn suit. He looks a little awkward, but he seems rather of the pleasant sort. Leaving the man behind you, you take a seat towards the prow, eyes fixed upon your destination. It has me jumping to 12, which is my favorite number. You settle into a seat with your thin briefcase resting on your lap, noticing that the rest of the passengers are likewise getting comfortable for the short trip across the lake. Glancing around, you catch sight of the ferryman entering the cabin. As you sit patiently and wait for the engine to come to life, you listen to the sounds of idle chatter around you. You look out across the water and you notice a thin fog beginning to form over the surface of the water as the temperature drops with the approach of the night. After a few minutes, you hear the engine sputter into action and you feel the ferry lurch forward. The conversations around you continue as the ferryman joins you all on the deck. You can't help overhearing most of the talk, though it's surprisingly banal. There are almost a dozen passengers on this ferry. Most of them are simply looking to spend their money during their weekend in Esbury and to enjoy various shops and leisure activities and lakeshore town activities. Many of the passengers seem to come for money. That's pretty common in Esbury. You notice a strange look from one of the women in the group. She has a full figure and brown eyes and hair. She seems to be looking you over, admiring your features. Oh, me. Wow, this is a symphony game. Let's go. All right, so there's some chatter here in the book about if you create your own investigator, do some things. If you didn't create your own investigator, do some things. So if you're in a starter set, do some things. So the material helps with all of that. If you are using the pre-generated investigator, Dr. Woods, take a look at how their character has been assigned, the half of the fifth value calculated to you, blah, 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 blah. Something, keep rule books, go to 80. All right. Dropping down to entry 80. Yeah, she's full figured, Bridgett. That's a green light. You ain't lied about that, boo-boo. Okay. The woman clearly sees something in you that she likes. Perhaps it's your looks or a glint of intelligence in your eyes. She gives you a sly wink, wow, before turning back to her companions. You likewise turn your attention to the rest of the passengers. Sitting apart from the general crowd are two men in dark, well-tailored suits, whispering quietly to each other. They have unamused expressions on their faces, as if they don't seem to be pleased to be here. And you don't know, maybe they're here on business. Noticing that you're sitting alone, the ferryman approaches you and stands with you with his characteristic smile. You notice he's missing a tooth on the upper left corner of his mouth. His eyes are bright as they light upon you. Hey, good afternoon. You look a little bit lonely there, friend. What brings you to Esbury? More copy. If you are creating an investigator, blah, 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 which I am not creating an investigator on the spot. If you are playing Dr. Woods, instead, all of her skills have already been assigned for you. Da, 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 da. If you are a professor, you have chosen to play Dr. Woods, go to 23. This guy is interrupting me from the chick that's hitting on me right now. This is inconvenient, but whatever. You mentioned the passing of a distant colleague in Esbury and how you've been sent by Miskatonic to recover his work and bring it back to the university. The man sighs and nods slowly. You mean Professor Harris? Yeah, real shame what happened to him. Always seems like such a nice man. Who was that? That Officer Powell says they're still cleaning up the mess at the professor's place. But some of the more valuable bits will probably be at the estate sale tonight if you're really wanting at it. The man looks down at his hands for a moment and then back at you as he extends one your way. Yeah, anyway, I'm Lance Sanford. Pleased to meet you, but I do wish it were under better circumstances, eh? All right, chat, here you are first. To inquire about Professor Harris, to inquire about Officer Powell, to ask Lance the same of himself, to talk about the estate sale, or to pass the time, choose one of these numbers. So ask about Harris. Okay. Asking about Harris sends me to 27. I kind of want to know about Harris, too. The ferryman raises a questioning eyebrow at you. Oh, Professor Harris? No, I can't say much, really. I didn't know him all that well, but he seemed like a nice guy. I was sad to hear that he died. You gently press for more information about his death. And Sanford frowns but answers. Officer Powell says it's a suicide. I'm inclined to believe him, but Professor Harris seemed happy enough to me. More than content to relax in Esbury like anybody else. In between his studies, of course. Ancient Indian history, I think it was. I had coffee with the professor a few weeks ago, and he talked my ear off about it. I couldn't understand half of what he said, but he was quite excited by whatever it was. You exchange a few more pleasantries with Sanford before he goes off to finish guiding the boat into port. You pass the time in casual conversation with the other passengers and in observing the scenery. You note the tall pines and the sloping hills along the lakeshore of Esbury. These features and the town beyond are just visible through the growing mist, but squinting helps make out most of it to your satisfaction. In time, you arrive at the pier of Esbury, grateful to be off the water. Go to 3. You take your first steps onto the pier. with the rest of the ferry passengers, trying to get your land legs once again. The passengers still chat casually as they walk off to their destination. You note one last little flirty wink from the full-figured woman as she struts along confidently behind the women accompanying her, and you feel the two dark-suited men push by you at a brisk pace, nudging you out of their way. Rude. Sanford gives you one last wave and a smile as he begins tending to the old rust-stained boat that is his pride and joy. The last light of the sun is fading fast, and the fog is growing thick on the water now. The night is still young, but you would rather not be wandering around in the dark and the fog of a town you're unfamiliar with. So, taking in your surroundings, you see a sizable crowd jockeying for entry into a lavish, modern-looking building along the lakeside. A folding sign sits out front, illuminated by the lantern. The words, "Estate Sale Tonight," are written in large, bold letters. While this seems to be the main attraction, you could also seek out somewhere else to stay for the night to set about your work in the morning. If you have not done so already, calculate your secondary attributes. I've already got that done. And then chat, we have some options. To visit the estate sale, go to 15. To find somewhere to stay for the night, go to 26. Damn, Chris Bates hit that hard. We are going to the estate sale. Pushing through the crowd, you make your way towards the estate sale. Judging by the number of people packing into the dance hall, this seems to be quite the event. Most of the people here are well dressed with conspicuous amounts of jewelry and designer clothing on display. You see a broad-shouldered man in a policeman's uniform standing by the door. He has a scarred yet clean-shaven face and a baton at his side. His brow is furrowed in a serious expression, and he watches the commotion through narrow eyes. As you mingle with the assorted academics and collectors, you notice a few other faces that stand out in the crowd. Most immediately, you spot a man in a flowing orange robes with tawny skin. He seems more than a little out of place and is garnering some odd looks from the other guests. Glancing around further, you happen to notice two dark-suited gentlemen from earlier, standing in a corner towards the front of the room, talking to a young dark-haired man in a dated but elegant long coat. He is of a slight build and has rather sharp features. A thin wisp of a mustache hangs from his nose. Most noticeable, though, is the rather attractive young woman standing on stage at the front of the room next to the bespectacled old man. Bespectacled? When is the last time I have heard the word bespectacled? Whoa, I'm changing the giveaway to bespectacled. Bespectacled old man. Long black hair cascades down her shoulders, accentuating pale features and complementing her formal black dress. Occasionally, she and the other gentlemen peek at items hidden beneath white sheets, the sales items waiting to be displayed. All right, guys, y'all have some options here. I can mingle with the guests. I can speak to the officer at the back of the room. I can go holler at the guy with the orange bathrobes or the orange robes. I can introduce myself to those dark-suited men. I can make my way around the stage to the woman, or I can leave the hall and finally go find a place to stay for the night. Mingle like the Pringle, Doc says. That comes in first. To mingle with the crowd, I guess go to 34. Rather than single anyone or anything out in particular, you feel it would be best to use your time to get a general impression and speak to multiple people to get their points of view. Hearing the talk around the room, you come to understand that most of the people who have gathered here are merely treating this as a social event. However, there are a fair number of academics and collectors in attendance as well. Judging by the relative wealth of the townsfolk, you imagine that there will be a lot of bids placed on some of these items. While walking among the guests, you happen to notice a pair of men conversing in hushed tones. They seem to be trying to avoid being overheard, but a keen ear might be able to catch what's being said. Make a listen check. First roll of the day, guys, the listen check. Let's see what happens. That is a 16 under my listen better be higher than a 16. My listen's a 20. Barely. Make a listen check. If you succeed, go to 2. Yeah, 20 listen. I'm not going to hear my death coming. That's going to be great. Okay. You position yourself close to the men and tune your ears into their conversation. Between you and me, I heard that most of those items are fakes, outright hoaxes and counterfeits. Harris was a doddering old nut. He claimed that his findings predate the earliest known records of ancient India, but that's impossible. They're completely inconsistent with all of the other data. And besides, the reason he left the Miskatonic, well, you know, if you catch my reason. The other man nods in approval. You aren't wrong. Oh, God, that accent fell fast. It actually says you aren't wrong. You aren't wrong. His findings aren't properly supported by evidence, yet he kept trying to publish his hogwash. I imagine that's why they had him resign. Still, at least a few of the items might be authentic, so hopefully this won't be a total waste of time. The first man shifts his stance and lowers his volume slightly again, where it is just perceptible. Maybe. And that monk over there, he does seem to lend some sort of validity to your claim. If an actual Indian wants them, perhaps there is something valuable here. Huh. Go to 17. You have begun gathering information on Esperi. Would you like to interact some more? Oh, okay. You may now select from the options of these chosen. Do not repeat a choice that you've already done. So do I want to... we've already mingled with the guests. Do I want to talk to the officer? Do I want to approach the man in orange? Do I want to introduce myself to those dark-suited men from the ferry? Make my way towards the stage? Leave the hall and go find some place to stay? Oh, stage and woman, holler at Thickums. I am trying to holler at Thickums. Listen. Okay. Chris says we're going to the stage and the woman, though. Okay. Isn't that Thickums? We'll find out. You make your way towards the stage and the woman, 22. Meanwhile, guys, let's see if this is the symphony way. You make your way to the stage, navigating around the many guests in the dance hall. Your eyes lock firmly on the woman, and hers rise to meet yours as she looks up from peeking under one of the hidden objects. She stops what she's doing as you approach, and the smile appears on her lips, and she notices that she's caught your eye. She rests her left hand on her hip, as you come to stand at the foot of the stage. The old man behind her continues his inspections, either unaware or uncaring that you've come to distract them. The woman leans over the stage, just over the edge. You can see her makeup that has been painstakingly applied, despite her status as a recent widow. Wait a second. How did I get that information already? Okay, we're going to rock with it. You clear your throat as you meet her gaze and promptly introduce yourself. She extends her hand to you formally. Well, aren't you a new face in town? She teases. We get those quite a bit here. No doubt you plan to bid on some of my late husband's things. Oh! Good for both of us, I say. Just be sure to give a good price for little old me, all right? She winks slyly at you. You realize now would be a good time to get some more information from this woman who might be well informed regarding your interests. She certainly seems like the flirty sort and would probably respond well more the same. I just want to see what chat is saying. I'm seeing Black Widow. She loves us. Black-haired widow. Here we go. Okay. It is asking me to make a charm check. I got that right, y'all. I'm good with a charm check. Let's see. Let me see what I roll on my charm check. I rolled a 70. That's not the symphony way. That might be the symphony way. Just so you guys know, my charm is a 15. So nah. We did not take that flirt well. That's okay. If you fail, go to 57. You manage to smile and stumble through a compliment and awkward. And the woman laughs. Oh my, why aren't you just the nervous sort? Don't know what to say to a pretty woman like me, eh? That's quite all right. I wouldn't have you anyways. Damn, that was straightforward. You're welcome to stay for the sale, though. I might like you a bit better as a buyer. She winks and turns around, walking back to her place on the stage. Bruh. Okay. Yep, going back to 17. The disrespect. Okay. That was so deliciously disrespectful. You have begun gathering information on Esbury. Would you like to interact some more? All right, guys, it looks like it's pushing us to go through the list. So we can go to the man in orange. We can go to the sheriff, the dark-suited men. Heartbroken already, right? Like, that was like, I don't want you anyway. It's like, I just started the game. Why are you attacking my character? Oh, it was my investigator. Officer, the men in suits, or the guy in the orange robe? Who you guys want me to go talk to? Give you guys a couple seconds to chime that in while I open up my LaCroix Limoncello. They should be sponsoring me. Somebody email LaCroix and be like, hey, Bridgett be on LaCroix every single time she streams. Go pay her some money. We hear the officer. All right, officer comes through with Chris Bates. Go to the officer, 88. Ooh, that's a big jump. All right. You turn around, embarrassed, and backtrack towards the entrance of the ballroom. Something about the officer by the door catches your attention and holds it. He gives off a commanding presence, and his eyes bore into you intensely as you make your way over to him. As you move within earshot, he rests a hand on his baton and clears his throat. I really hope there isn't going to be any sort of problem, citizen. I wouldn't want to see anyone getting hurt tonight. His hand does not move from his baton. Jesus. We're having a great day. It wants me to make a psychology roll, guys. So here we go again. I rolled a 66. My character's psychology is a 50. I am going... Burn the luck or don't burn the luck? I kind of want to kick his ass. Kick his ass, C-Boss. Burn the luck to make this psychology. Don't burn the luck. I don't know. It's 15 points of luck if I burn it. That's a lot of luck, guys. What do you want me to do? Andy says burn it. So we're going to burn it. All right. I'm going to burn the 15 points of luck. That means I have succeeded on my psychology roll, which is going to drop me to 105. I already got my heart broken. I don't want to get my face broken, too. For an officer of the law, Officer Powell possesses a rather thuggish disposition. He seems to be looking for a fight, and from the scars on his face, you can tell that he's been in many. With his size, he does cut rather an intimidating figure. Still, the use of thinly veiled threats as an introduction is somewhat unnerving and certainly not proper behavior or, let me try that again. Veiled threats of introduction is somewhat unnerving and certainly not proper behavior for a moral and ethical man. It's probably best not to provoke him, and it would be wise to avoid him as much as possible. No problem. I don't want to rock with you, no way. You got an attitude. She got an attitude. We'll just go back to 17. All right, guys. This leaves me to two places. We can go talk to the man in the robe, the dark-suited people, or I can go home. Robe it is, then. This ought to be interesting. To approach the man in orange, you go to 102. Oh, I feel like he's going to be the most entertaining of the group. As you approach the strange man, he seems well-traveled and weary, and his... so it's not bathrobes. I'm so sorry. Sorry. That was a misconception I had in my head. Sorry if I articulated that. So as you approach the strange man, he seems well-traveled and weary, and his long orange robes are in stark contrast to the fine suits and dresses of the New England financial elite. He seems decidedly out of place. You open your mouth as if to speak, and find him staring intensely at you. Wow, here's another roll. It wants me to make an anthropology roll, guys. 43. Hey, that's a success, guys. All right, so that's a success. That's a success. On the anthropology roll, that's going to drop me to 72, or lift me to 72. Okay. You recognize the man's style of dress to be that of a Buddhist monk. You bow in customary greeting, to which the monk smiles and returns the gesture before speaking in a heavily accented but fluent English tone. It is good to see one here with such respect for our customs. I am Banyu. His expressions turn to a frown as he makes a sweeping gesture at the rest of the room. The rest here seem only to seek to profit from my culture. Selling the items of my ancestors is most shameful. You respectfully question why he would come such a long way to witness such a thing, and he sighs before turning back to you. I have come with what money my temple could gather, so that I might save a certain few of the artifacts. One that your Professor Harris stole from my temple in Sarnath when he came to visit some years ago. The monk seems troubled and falls silent. He bows in farewell, and you take the cue to leave. Go to 17, which I'm pretty sure is that reoccurring one we keep hitting. So go find a place to stay for tonight, or go talk to the guys in the suits. What do you guys think? I'm really feeling the suits. Andy, I mentioned you earlier. I was like, oh, Andy said this game was really hard, so I might die early. Whoa, right. All right. What do you say? Suits. All right. Andy says go talk to the suits. Let's go talk to the suspicious men in the suits. 60. You approach the huddled group and introduce yourself to them, stating that you recognize them from the ferry. The two men from oh, here we go again, guys. The two men from earlier appear annoyed at your presence and are visibly irritated. Scram, man, we don't know you. You've got nothing to do with us. The third man seems likewise bothered and frowns at your intrusion. They certainly make you feel unwelcome. Ignoring you in hopes that you'll leave, the two men in suits turn their backs to you. You see the jacket of each suit shift oddly as if it's ill-fitting. Ooh, make a spot hidden check. Make a spot hidden check. 7. I know I nailed that one. I didn't know. I got based on spot hidden. That's a 25. But we made it. I know, so much disrespect. Like, everybody here rude. Why is everybody rude and us me? Okay. Spot hidden roll. If you succeed, jump to 28. What we doing? Dealing with these rude people today. You are well traveled enough to know that the two men are concealing handguns in their waists. What they could possibly need them for is beyond you at this point, but their hidden weapons and shady nature makes you think that this isn't good. Before you turn to go, you think you catch a glint of metal from beneath the folds of the young man's coat as well. This man might likewise be armed. It jumps us back to 17. Let's verify that we've done anything. We've talked to the other guests. We've spoken to the rude officer in the back of the room. We've spoken to the very polite monk. That was great. We introduced ourselves to the dark-suited men who were trash. We went to the stage. We got hit on and then rebuffed aggressively. And this woman basically said she has no interest or use for me whatsoever, but she might like me as a buyer. At this point, it is time to leave the hall and go find a place to stay for the night, which is 26. While the estate sale seems to be interesting, that's a word for it, you would feel more secure with a roof over your head for the night. You pull someone out of the crowd and inquire as to where you can find a room to rent. You're directed a few blocks down into town at a modestly priced hotel and a few buildings down from Esbury's police station. As you enter in from the cool night, you're greeted by a heat from a roaring fire. The front door room feels stuffy and cramped. The bulk of the space is dominated by a large service counter, behind which sits a wiry-looking wisp of a woman. That's fun to say, wisp of a woman. She turns her wide eyes to you and asks your name, then quotes you a price that's more than fair. With the transaction complete, you haul your thin briefcase up the stairs, unpack it, and settle into your room for the night. Jump to 9. You wake up in the morning, grateful for the rest. You rise from your bed and take in the modest surroundings that make up your room. The furnishings are sparse. A small, poor-quality dresser and a cramped and dusty writing desk are tucked in the corner. Sitting atop of the desk is a plate of eggs and toast, apparently set out for you by the hotel's owner. The walls are plain and unadorned, save for a single window that faces towards the lake. However, this view is currently blocked by the incredibly thick fog, which has taken on a pale green hue. Bruh. What am I more offended by, the pale green fog or that woman really rebuffing us on stage? I'm still mad about that, just so y'all know. Your vision is obscured entirely, and you cannot see into the depths of that outlandish green mist. You also notice your personal belongings placed around the room exactly as you left them the night before. Okay. All right. I need to address something because it's bothering me. I understand this is 1920s. You go ahead and live your truth. Why did you come in my room to leave food down? Like, you came in while I was sleeping and put food down? I'm uncomfortable. Bridgett is uncomfortable. I think Dr. Wolf is all right, but I don't like it. I just want you to know I don't like it. I'm more bothered by that than the green mist right now. But we're going to go to 106. I feel how I feel. Judge me. Hey, DM Chromie. All right. Where was it going? 106? All right. After getting dressed and eating the modest breakfast set out for you, you're ready to begin your day. You take a moment to consider what that means for you. Your mind turns to Professor Harris. If you're so inclined, you might be able to investigate the circumstances of his death further, considering that you don't have his widow Amelia's address. You would have to start your search with the official report filed with Officer Powell at the police station. Oof. Alternatively, you could take this free time to look through your belongings and examine any items you may have. The hotel owner has been in your room. See, this is why I don't like it. The hotel owner has been in your room, so check that things might be in order. Or perhaps some other reason to look over your possessions. All right, guys, so chat, what are we doing? Go to the police station with the rude dude. Go over your items to see if the hotel staff stole anything. Go back to the ferry. Go ahead and check. All right, Graham kids. We're gonna check our items. Yeah. Why did they come into the room? I don't like it. All right, that wants me to go to 32. A cursory inspection of your personal belongings reveals nothing is amiss. Whew. All of your possessions are just as you left them. While you are here looking things over, you can take this opportunity to more closely scrutinize items bought at the estate sale. Alternatively, you may leave and go explore elsewhere if your curiosity is satisfied. After examining each item, you will be directed to this entry or given the option to proceed as appropriate if you have none of the... All right. Okay. So, here's what we're looking at, guys. This gives us a few options. Yeah. I didn't buy anything, Max. That's the thing. Like, I didn't buy anything, so we're just going to go with it. Apparently, I did buy some things. And here are some of the things that I purchased. A journal, clay cylinders, an altar, an idol, go to the police station, go to the ferry. Wait, Andy. Hold on. You're saying I didn't do anything. Hold on. Are you saying I'm reading that entry wrong? It might be that. I'm going to wait to see what Andy says. Doc says, nope, you didn't buy anything. There are rolls for buying. Okay, so I'm at this entry. You look things over. After, let me read this slower then. After examining each item, you will be directed to this entry or given them to proceed. No. Oh, that automatically skips the auction. Okay, gotcha. So I look over all my items. Everything is there. So then I think the easiest thing to do just to reconcile this, one of the options at the bottom is to go to the police station or go to the ferry when we just go to the police station. I'm going to wait because it looks like two of the players here have at least played the game or are following along in the book. Ferry, this place is very dangerous, clearly, especially with the weird green fog. I'm waiting on Andy or Doc to chime in just to see what we're working with here. If not, I will just pop to the... probably the police station, because I don't know why I would be going back to the ferry right now. Yeah, ferry or police. Okay, then we'll do that. So I'm just going to go to the police station and see how that works. All right. Hit this damn green mist. You step out into the greenish mist. You feel it clinging tightly to you as you make your way the short distance to the police station. Upon entering the brick building, you are struck with a sense of claustrophobia. The walls here are uncomfortably close together and space is tight. Crammed into the tiny structure is a large desk, several filing cabinets, and a few chairs. A closet-sized holding cell with iron bars sits in the rear of the room. Behind a large desk is Officer Powell, smoking a cigar with his feet propped up on the table. His coat is unbuttoned, and his hat lies on top of a stack of papers next to a battered old revolver. He opens one eye and frowns at you, sighing through his cigar as he straightens himself up to look more presentable. If you're bothering me right now, I'm going to assume it's important. This dude. You mentioned that you would like to see the police report for Professor William Harris's death, which he replies with a snort. You have no business dealing with that. And even if you did, this is my jurisdiction. Shove off and leave me in peace. He doesn't seem cooperative, but perhaps you could convince him that you have some special circumstance that warrants you to look through his files. It wants me to make a fast talk check, y'all. I have so many feelings about this fast talk check with this jerk. Let's see what happens. 52. That's not super terrible unless I have base. My fast talk is a 5. So I failed. I'm going to move on with my day. Let's see if this guy also tells me he doesn't want me. Make a fast talk roll. If you succeed, go to here. If you fail, go to 101. We failed, homie. We failed like a boss. I am not having a good day in Esbury, honey. You try to convince the author that you have a particularly good reason for needing access to the file, but he simply does not care. Scram, stranger, you're ruining my smoke. If you want to dig at a dead guy, go bother his widow. Everyone's so rude. Her place is over on the north side of town, right next to the church. Can't damn well miss it. Officer Powell will be no more help to you at this time. To return to the hotel, do this. To go find the Harris house, go here. Yeah, the people in this town are major jerks. Like, yeah, go bother the widow. Okay. 90. Ooh, just saw some troubling art. You walk into town towards the Harris address. Even knowing the location is difficult for you to find your way due to the unfamiliarity with the town and the density of this particular green mist. Why is no one else bothered by this green mist? I have questions. Why wasn't the sheriff bothered by this green mist? Whatever. As a result, it's some time before you arrive at the Harris house. As you approach the building, a man steps out of the fog, blocking your path. He is young and thin, with rather angular features and a faint hint of a mustache atop his lip. He's dressed in a dark suit and stares at you from beneath a flat cap. You're an unwelcome surprise. I don't know what you're looking for, but you won't find it here. Your eyes betray you as you glance at the Harris house. The man scowls visibly. Why don't you leave that poor widow alone, you creep? If you don't want to bother her, you're going to have to... if you want to bother her, you're going to have to go through old Joshua here. Capiche? What the hell is going on in this town? His hand brushes beneath his coat as if searching for something, but then he stops himself. He pauses for a moment, looking you over once more before spitting on the ground at your feet and turning away. Okay. There's a lot going on today. To call out to Joshua, to make your way to the Harris house, to heed his warning and return to the hotel. Wow, execute him. That. Just to let you know, Chad, execute Joshua is not one of my options. I am so sorry. Maybe it'll be in the edit. All right, Skip says go to the house. All right, baby. Just so you guys know, Skip is going to be running one of these soon. Tune in for that. Go to the house. Where the hell is the house? Make your way to the Harris house, which is 55. Maybe there's a friendly NPC here, guys. Despite Joshua's urgings, you feel compelled to speak to Amelia yourself. You approach the front of the house and note your surroundings. The house's exterior hints at the wealth of the occupants, but then again, so do most places in town. Directly across from the residence is a small church whose religious iconography seems to have been inspired seems to have inspired the Harrises in the design for their own home. I don't like that at all. Why are they complimenting each other? A bronze cross hangs over the front door, and decorative columns line the outside walls of the two-story house. All in all, the architectural style is somewhat Baroque, complete with a pair of carved angels lounging beneath the eaves that are just visible through the strange haze. I'm really upset right now, guys. I don't like this. You knock on the door and wait in the mist for a few moments, hoping for someone to hear you. Eventually, much to your relief, the widow Amelia answers the door. She's wearing a bright red dress which accents her deep crimson lipstick. She appears to have taken great care over her appearance. She flashes you a smile and invites you inside. The house opens into a large foyer, and you see various crates and bundles stacked along the walls. Just selling off a few of the more common things. Mind the mess, the porter hasn't come for it yet. She takes you by the hand to lead you past the stack of items, helping to pick your way through. It's just the way they just read it. I'm really upset. She takes you by the hand to lead you past the stacks of items, helping you to pick your way through the deceased Professor Harris's assembled possessions. She takes you into a small drawing room full of antique furniture and offers you some coffee. After settling in and exchanging a few well-mannered pleasantries, you ask in more detail about the late Professor Harris. Amelia sighs theatrically and looks down at her hands. I can't imagine what you want to ask about William. I found him in his study with the gun still in his mouth. What more could you want to know? Wow, that took a turn pretty fast. Yeah, listen. I don't know what's going on right now. It wants me to make a psychology roll. All right, guys. Thoughts and prayers. We're going back to the bottom. Psychology roll. 57. I don't know what my psychology is doing. I don't remember. Psychology is a 50. I could burn the luck. Do you want me to burn luck? Or just keep the fail roll? Wow, chat can't. Y'all can't. Damn. Okay, chat. I hear you. Y'all came in hella aggressive with that. Burn, baby, burn. All right, we're going to burn the luck. If you make a psychology roll, if you succeed, go to 126. All right, chat told me to succeed. You don't know why you hadn't realized this before. Selling all of his things, adopting such a flirty demeanor, dismissing questions about her husband's death. Amelia doesn't seem too broken up about her husband's passing. She's hiding something. You'd bet your whole career on it. You suspect she's involved in Professor Harris's death in some form or the other. Oh, I'm glad y'all had me burn that luck roll. That's some good information to know. You open your mouth, prepared to call her bluff and press her for more information, but you are interrupted by a large knock at the door. Amelia jumps up, startled, and stands there for a moment in confusion as pounding on the door resumes. Police, open the door! Amelia's face drains white as she goes to answer the knock. Your gut tells you something is wrong here. You feel uneasy about the officer at the door. You tell yourself that you're being irrational and on edge, but you have trouble fighting that feeling. You have a few precious moments to react. Chat, ignore my instincts and wait. Use this chance to hide and go for a stealth check. Run, hide. Get the fuck out of here. Hide. Okay. We're going to go for the stealth, guys. We're going to go for the stealth, which means here is the bot roller for you again. For stealth, I wrote a 76. I'm not feeling warm and fuzzy about that. My stealth is a 20. All right, guys. I'm sure hiding from the cops in this situation is going to work out great for us. Where's this damn entry? To take this chance to hide, make a stealth roll. If you succeed, go to 98. If you fail, go to 20. We might be real on time for the Miskatonic Playhouse stream, guys. What the hell is going to happen? Y'all had me hide and I failed. What did y'all do to us? What did you do to us? Okay. Your instincts get the better of you and you feel compelled to make your escape. You rise from your seat looking for suitable exits. The only way that this doesn't lead towards the entrance is through the kitchen. You don't know if there's an exit this way, but you think it's worth a shot. Unfortunately, you never get to take it. As you rise and head for the kitchen doorway, Officer Powell bursts into the room shouting, "Freeze, police!" You glance over your shoulder and see his revolver leveled at you, and you go stiff. You're under arrest for trespassing. You're going to come with me now. He has you dead in his sights. Talking would do you little good as he's already caught you trying to flee the scene. And he doesn't like you. You should probably do what he says. On the other hand, you could try to run. Staring down the barrel of the gun, the odds don't look good. But maybe you like your chances better with the gun than a prison cell. To go quietly, go to 65. To make a run for it, go to 82. Run like the wind. Run like the wind. Run. Take his gun and shoot him. Run. All right, y'all. All right. What could go wrong? To make a run for it, go to 82. I want to read one last thing to y'all. I just want y'all to know what y'all are choosing for me. On the other hand, you could try to run. Staring down the barrel of a gun, the odds don't look too good. But maybe you'd rather take your chances with a gun than a prison cell. I'm excited for us. I really am. I'm going to entry 82. I hate y'all. All right. You eye the barrel of a gun. You eye the barrel of the gun, weighing your chances. It doesn't look good, but you decide it beats the alternative. Your muscles go tense, waiting to spring into action. You take a deep breath, and you go for it. You miscalculated just how slim your chances are. You manage to take one step before you hear the loud crack of the revolver. You feel a round slam into your chest and then another. You stumble back, clutching at your wounds, doubled over in agony. You look up in time just to see Powell looming over you before he smashes the butt of the gun over your head. In a daze, you look down at the pool of blood forming around you. Your limbs start to go numb. The pain starts to recede and you feel yourself growing cold. You know that you're going to die. The last thing you see is the glint of murder in the policeman's eyes. You have died. Your visit to Esbury is over. The end, in capital letters. Yep, that was a good game. We were for sure going to be on time to the Miskaholic Playhouse. Y'all chose. We chose. This was, listen, we are where we are right now. And that's Friends of the Symphony is where our show ends for tonight. Thank you for everyone who joined in or is currently watching the replay. You are indeed the best part of waking up. Let's go ahead and do this drawing. Y'all got my character killed so damn fast. That was delicious. That was fun. That was great. All right. View active giveaway. All right. Oh, what it is, the active giveaway is still going for another 5 minutes because we died so early. I'm going to close entries and we are going to pick a winner. One of 4 people is going to gain a free copy of Call of Cthulhu Alone Against the Tide. And the winner is in 5, 4, 3. I chose already. It's Perry. Perry! Congratulations, Perry. I already have your address because you're a backer. If your address has changed, holler at your girl. But I will slip that in the mail for you probably Monday, Tuesday after the holiday and after I get done laughing about y'all got me killed in 56 minutes. I am so impressed. I love the Symphony. Again, if you enjoy this content, please consider helping us make more by backing us on Symphony at Symphony Entertainment. Consider backing us on Patreon at patreon.com/Symphony Entertainment. I've got so much copy running through my head right now. Y'all send thoughts and prayers. I can't believe how fast y'all got my character killed. That was delicious. We hope you have enjoyed your night, and we look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Mwah! I'll see you guys over at the Playhouse. I'm going to go get tea. I'm going to go get me something to eat, and then I'll be with you guys over there. Mwah! Have a wonderful night, guys.